Good morning, everyone. I am Rajesh Kumar, and today I am going to tell you about the structure of atom. First of all, we need to know about what is atom. So, atom is known as the smallest building block of an element or anything. For example, in a building, a brick is known as the building block because we know that from combination of bricks, a building forms, and that's how a brick is known as the building block, or we can consider it as an atom. So combination of atoms becomes a building. Okay, so the atom consists of three things: electrons, protons, neutrons. Neutrons are neutral in charge, protons are positively charged, electrons are negatively charged. Protons and neutrons becomes the core of the atom, which makes the positively charged core, and electrons balance them by revolving around it. Okay, so first of all, in the starting, Thomson observed the structure of atom first time, and he states that the atom is like a Christmas pudding, where the surface of the pudding is positively charged, and cherries which are stuffed on the surface is like electrons embedded on the surface, and electrons is balancing means neutralizing or balancing the charge of the neutron means stabilizing the atom. Then in this then in further when we move further, Rutherford comes. Rutherford states that there is a dense space between atom and electrons. According to him, uh, around the core, electron moves like planets moves around the sun by pull force of the gravitational force. But he stated this by experimenting. The experiment is known as the gold foil experiment. In the gold foil experiment, he placed a radioactive source, and he shooted a beam of alpha particles on the gold foil. And around the gold foil, there are sensors, luminance sensors. When the alpha particles hit the gold foil, it passes, as the atom have the space between electrons and the core. From those, some electrons pass from it, cross the gold foil and hit that luminance source. Some struck the core and get back. Some stuck with another part and went different directions. So the luminance source is continuously hit by those alpha particles which crossed or passed and hit by the atoms of the core, and by that he stated that there is a core and the electrons are revolving around it, and he stated that according to him, the core is basically pulling the electrons. That's why they are revolving around it. The drawback of his theory or his structure was that if the core is pulling the electrons around it, to somehow any day they will lose their energy and they will fall on the core anyhow, because according what happens around us, like a comet is moving around the sun, uh, and after some time or some years it will lose its energy and it will enter inside the sun or fall on the surface of the sun, because the sun has the gravitational force which pulls it strongly. So so next comes the Bohr's model of atom. Bohr's model is based on the Rutherford's model, but he states that the electrons which are moving around the core, they are not moving by any pull or any gravitational pull. They are moving as they are by the electrical charge, and by their electrical charge they are moving around the atom and stabilizing the atom. And Bohr's model is accepted by the science, as he states that the electrons have the specific path or orbit like planets to move around the sun as planets move. That's why the electrons also have the same path to move around the core. continuously. And he also states that the where the shells have some valencies, like first outer orbit have two electron valency means two electrons can only revolve around it, and next has four. According to him, all those when the all electrons, like first two, then four, then six, then eight, when all the electrons are there, that means the atom is stable, as the electrons are stabilizing the core by negative and positive balance each other. And all and in the last I want to and in last I want to say that the electrons, basically a atom consists of a core, and electrons revolve around it by the force of by their electrical force which they have. And thank you. In today's lecture I want to say this. Thank you.